guys, I'm Eileen and welcome to or back to my channel. So in today's video I wanted to make a piece of one of my more recent obsessions, which is Project Hail Mary. Ever since reading the book and listening to the audiobook and seeing the movie, I've been really inspired to make a piece based on the story, and also because the imagery in the movie and all the background stuff and the planet Adrian specifically was just so beautiful, and I'm like, how could I pass up the opportunity to make a piece based off of all of this like gorgeous stuff. So let's get into it. So before starting the actual piece, I wanted to do some quick practice sketches in my sketchbook just to get into like the right groove of things, into like the Project Hail Mary mindset, I guess. So I started off with a drawing of Grace's astronaut suit, which is what I'm going to be drawing in the final piece. And I figure out later that this is not what his suit looks like. The like front glass panel of his face is not a full circle, it's like half a circle. But this was just a drawing from like just my memory and like what I thought a spacesuit looked like. So yeah, this is not what it's going to look like in the final piece, it's just practice. So I first heard about Project Hail Mary on TikTok, where I kind of figure everybody did. But when I first heard about it and I saw all like the little clips from the movie and everything, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And Ryan Gosling was playing Grace, so I'm like, this has to be great. So the first thing that I did was I got the audiobook, and when I listened to it, I absolutely loved it. It was so good. I believe the person who did the audiobook for Project Hail Mary was Ray Porter, and I must say he had the perfect voice for like every single character. He was great for Grace, for Rocky. My personal favorite that he did was Stratt. I don't know, something about his voice for it was just like so perfect. He did the like accent for her so well. I don't know, it was just like so satisfying to the ear, the voice that he did for her. So after listening to the audiobook, I went and got a copy of the book for myself, and I read the book as well, which it was great, even though it's, you know, the exact same as the audiobook, but you know. Then afterwards I went and watched the movie. I wasn't able to see it in theaters, which kind of bummed about. I feel like that would have been really cool to see in theaters, especially that one scene where he's like surrounded by all the like glittering red astrophage. Wish I could have seen that, but even watching it at home with my family, it was still so good, and I think still hit the same as it would have in theaters. I think that everybody in the movie was casted so perfectly. I am a big fan of Ryan Gosling, and I think he just played Grace so perfectly, which FYI, I need that fox sweater that he wore. It was so cute, and I need to learn to crochet or something and make it. But anyway, I loved the person that did the voice for Rocky and the puppet and everything. Who played Stratt? I need to look it up. I don't remember her name, but she was awesome. Loved her. She was such a freaking diva. Though while I did really love the movie, I think I prefer the book over the movie, which I think just happens when you read or listen to the book first before watching the movie. But I still think that the movie was absolutely wonderful, but I think I prefer the book a little bit more, and I'll get into why I think that a little bit later into the video. So now that I have all of my practice sketches and thumbnails done in my sketchbook, I'm going to start moving an actual sketch onto the final paper I'm going to be using for the actual project. While I'm doing the actual sketch on the final paper, I'm kind of planning it out while I do the sketches. I did do the practice thumbnails in my sketchbook just to get an idea of what I wanted, but I still wasn't super happy with like the pose I had in mind, and I thought I could think of something better. and you know, instead of doing practice sketches, I just started doing it right on the paper, which isn't the greatest idea, but I eventually got to something that I liked without leaving too many eraser markings everywhere. I'm not really sure why, but whenever I thought of doing a piece for Project Hail Mary, the only thing I could think of was I need to paint Planet Adrian. Just because the colors, the green with the hints of orange is just so gorgeous, and like, I don't know, there's no way I couldn't put that into a piece. So now that I have the final sketch done on the paper, I just put a quick wash of orange on top of everything. So I didn't really think about this before making the piece, but I realized that to paint Adrian the way that I wanted to be able to paint it, I was worried about, as I was doing it, that I would accidentally get parts of the background into the sketch of Grace in front of it. So I figured a good way to like stop that from happening would to like put tape on top of all of Grace, just so, you know, I don't accidentally cover up the entire sketch with what I paint on the background. So just to make sure that that idea actually worked, I took a little piece of watercolor paper just to practice and see. So first I just used some washi tape that I had on hand, and I just covered the circle that I drew with the washi tape, used an X-Acto knife, and just kind of cut out a little circle, which it kind of ended up an oval, but it's fine. Then I ended up, I painted over it with the watercolor, let it dry for a little bit, and then peeled the tape away. And of course, as you can imagine, that worked perfectly. The only downside to it is that when putting it down on the actual piece, I wouldn't be able to see through it and be able to correctly cut where my sketch lines are. So I wouldn't be able to actually get the full shape of Grace with the tape. So since I decided that that wasn't going to work, I decided that I would use some clear masking tape to do it. The only reason I didn't immediately go to that was because I was worried it would accidentally rip the paper when I was peeling it back up. So I decided to do the same test that I did with the washi tape. When I peeled it back, it actually surprisingly didn't rip the paper, which is what I was really worried about. So I figured that'd be perfect to use. So I started putting the clear masking tape onto my actual sketch, and I quickly realized that when I put the tape down on the paper, it is so clear to the point where I can't really see where I put it. So that made it a little bit challenging to cut out, but at least I could see through it and actually see my sketch. So it was definitely better than using the washi tape. Eventually, I did have all of the tape down and had it all cut out, and everything was going perfectly to plan. So at this point, I have been working on this piece for a few hours now, and it has gotten dark and I've gotten tired. So I decided to stop working for the day and continue it tomorrow. And my phone wasn't recording. Isn't that so fun? So it turns out that when I started recording on my phone, when I looked away, it stopped recording because my phone was out of storage. But I did not realize that because my phone is above me as I'm filming. So I just kept on working on the background, unaware that I was not recording any of it. But I am glad that I caught it when I did, because I was about to start doing my favorite part of the piece, which is all of the pretty swirls on Adrian. So yeah, you guys won't miss out on that part. Every single time I see another artist do a drawing or a painting of the planet Adrian in Project Hail Mary, I am just always taken aback by how beautiful it is. I think I talked about this before, but just the two colors, the green and the orange, they just go so well together, and I love all of the swirls on it, and just everything about it is just so pleasing, and I love it so much. And I was just like, how could I not make a painting of this? It is so gorgeous. And it's not the only scene in the movie Project Hail Mary that I thought was just so gorgeous. I think I also mentioned this before, but the scene where Grace is surrounded by all of the red, like shiny, glittering astrophage, that is another scene that just like blew me away by how beautiful it was. And keep an eye out because I'll probably make a piece of that scene eventually, because how could I not? It's just so pretty. And that is kind of one of the reasons why I love the movie so much, is because when reading the book or listening to the audiobook, it's hard to really imagine these scenes like fully in your head, but the movie makes them reality, and you can like fully visualize these like planets that they're talking about and the astrophage and all of that. And I feel like it's just so nice to have like a visual and really being able to like appreciate just how gorgeous everything is that they're talking about. It's just, oh, I just love it so much. So now the rest of the footage that I have is basically just me painting the rest of the piece. So I figured I'd take the rest of the time to yap about Project Hail Mary and everything that I like about it, and a little bit of why I kind of prefer the book over the movie. I really like comparing the characters from the book to their own characters in the movie. And I think two characters, or one character, that is really good to compare to himself is Grace, obviously the main character. And I love how book Grace and movie Grace are both definitely recognizable as the same character, but they're both slightly different in personality. I'd say that book Grace is definitely more like immersed in the science aspect of everything. His brain seems to be like constantly moving, and we can tell because we're technically in his brain in the book. He's always analyzing everything, he's always questioning everything, always trying to figure out everything that's going on around him. And the movie version feels a little bit more like charismatic. You can definitely tell that Ryan Gosling put a bit of his own personality into the role, and I kind of love that because Ryan Gosling is already like a very likable guy, and when you see movie Grace, I think seeing Ryan Gosling's personality in him a little bit almost makes you like instantly like him even more. I think that's really great. I also think that's good because in the movie, obviously, you need to connect with Grace a lot quicker than you would need to in the book. The book has hundreds of pages to help us slowly get to know him, while the movie kind of wants you to instantly connect with him. And I think having his character being like instantly funny and entertaining to watch is a really smart choice on their part. I do think that the book gives us a deeper understanding of who Grace is as a person, more than the movie does, which I understand why, because in the book it's majority his inner dialogue, and you can't really do that in a movie without it becoming, I'd say, a bit annoying. But I do really like in the book being able to like understand his thought process and everything, and see how he thinks and how he feels in all the situations that he's in. And speaking of characters that I like to compare from their book version to the movie version, I think that the book Stratt and movie Stratt are almost like two completely different characters, but I also don't think that that's a bad thing. I'm gonna say that in the book, I think Stratt is probably one of, if not my favorite character. And I don't know if that's a controversial opinion or not. Maybe it is. I don't know if people will agree with me or not. But I mean, come on, she's like so cool. I love her. I feel like people either love Stratt or hate Stratt. Personally, I love her. Um, I can understand why some people might not like her in the book. She is very harsh. She's controlling. Some may say she's manipulative. She makes decisions that are absolutely horrifying if you stop to think about them. But, you know, she has every right to be making all of these decisions that she needs to make. I mean, her job is literally to make sure Earth and the entire human species does not die. So I think she has every right to be as harsh and controlling as she wants to. But while she's making all of these harsh decisions and very hard decisions, she still has this calm air about her and this like confidence that I just think is so cool and just makes me like admire her so much. While I think book Stratt is much cooler, I still love movie Stratt. I still think she's awesome, but I do think that they maybe toned down her harshness a little bit, which I do kind of miss, like the scene where she's telling Grace that he is going on the mission whether he likes it or not. I liked much more in the book than I did in the movie, but I still loved both of them, but I loved them for different reasons. I love that scene in the book because I love how straightforward Stratt was and how she told Grace straight to his face about how much of a coward he is. And I'll read the lines that she says to him right now just because I love them so much. So this is what she says in the book. You're a coward and you always have been. You abandoned a promising scientific career because people didn't like a paper you wrote. You retired to the safety of children who worship you for being the cool teacher. You don't have a romantic partner in your life because that would mean you might suffer heartbreak. You avoid risk like the plague. Like, come on, she's so cool. And just like telling him straightforward that he is a coward and is afraid of suffering. Though in the movie, I must say, she lets Grace down a lot more gently than she did in the book. She doesn't yell at Grace or anything, or tell him that he's a coward, or call him out on, like, the reason why he has a romantic partner or anything like that. She kind of just tells him that, oh, you'll be a hero, and that there's really no getting out of this. Though one thing from the movie that I really liked was her getting a little bit emotional and telling him to sit down and they'll do it differently. Like, I don't know, something about whoever the actress is, I need to look up her name, but just the way that she said that line specifically really hit me hard, and I think really made me like the movie Stratt a lot more than I already did. I don't know, just she put so much emotion into that one line, and I think that really showed us that while Stratt seems like this person who doesn't really have much emotion or care for people, I think it showed like the humanness in her and that she still feels and that she really did genuinely care about Grace and maybe even loved him. I did see a few people talking on TikTok about how they didn't like movie Stratt because they thought that maybe they made her too soft than she was in the book, and I honestly don't really have a problem with how they wrote her in the movie. I think that, you know, I still think she's cool and I still think she's awesome, but I think showing moments where she like is like kinder to Grace and is having like maybe like emotional moments with him, I think it's really nice and like shows the humanness in her. And I did really like the scene where she was singing Sign of the Times by Harry Styles, which also I have been listening to that song like nonstop. I love that song now, and I don't know, I think that scene also just really showed that even behind all of the harsh decisions that she has to make and her incredibly terrifying job, she is still just a person with feelings and emotions. So overall, I love movie Stratt and I love book Stratt, but I love them because they both give me different things. And I think that's honestly, that can be said for the entire adaptation. There are certain things about the book that I prefer, and there are certain things about the movie that I prefer. The book gives me more science, even though, I don't really understand any of the science. I got a 79 on my chemistry final, but we don't talk about that. The book gives me more of the inner dialogue, more details, more time with each character, while the movie gives me the visual expressions and seeing the world that actually exists, gives us all the pretty images and stuff like that. The movie gave us a visual representation of Rocky, it gave us the full scale of the Hail Mary, it gave us visuals of what the astrophage looks like, and I think moments like that are just incredible to see on screen. It's so cool how they can take stuff from a book where it's kind of up to your interpretation of how you want to imagine it and put it on screen and make it look like something that everybody will love. I am honestly extremely happy with how this piece turned out. I must say, Grace's shoes got a little messed up just because I personally kind of hate drawing shoes, but it's okay, you can ignore those. I think the rest of the piece is great. I absolutely love the background. I think the planet turned out so pretty. I love all of the swirls, it's my favorite part, and I just had a lot of fun making it as well. It was great. It was great using watercolors again. I haven't used my watercolors in a long time. So yeah, I'm very happy with this piece. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing for more art videos to come your way. And if you guys have any suggestions on maybe another Project Hail Mary piece I could make, maybe one with a different character, maybe with Stratt or Rocky, please do leave a comment and let me know. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!